Most jutsu or ninja techniques in the Naruto universe range from being somewhat benign to incredibly powerful, from spitting fireballs and summoning ninja dogs to controlling lightning or creating unextinguishable black flames. Some jutsu, however, are so incredibly dangerous, powerful, or outright twisted in a way that their use can mean death, and not just for your enemies. These jutsu have been labeled as Kinjutsu, or forbidden jutsu, and today we're taking a look at all the forbidden jutsu in the Naruto universe. Stick around to the end because some of these jutsu are stronger than reality itself. Edo Tensei, also known as Impure World Reincarnation, is probably the most well-known Kinjutsu, and for good reason. This technique was created by Tobarama Senju and lets the user summon the dead back to life with all their original powers, while binding them to the user's will. This, however, requires a live sacrifice. This jutsu was used by Orochimaru to fight against the third Hokage, as well as Kabuto to fight against the entire allied shinobi forces during the 4th Shinobi War, bringing back heavy hitters like the 3rd Raikage, the 2nd Mizukage, and even the infamous Madara Uchiha. This forbidden jutsu gives the reincarnated subjects an immortal body which heals from all damage as well as infinite chakra reserves, meaning the only way to combat this technique is to seal the reincarnated or to defeat the jutsu user. The Reaper Death Seal is an extremely powerful yet fatal jutsu developed by the Uzumaki clan. It involves summoning the Death God, who then separates the user's soul from their body, which the Death God then reaches through in order to seal whoever the subject is using the jutsu against. We see this used by the 3rd Hokage to seal the 1st and 2nd Hokage after they were summoned back to life by Orochimaru, as well as sealing away the arms of Orochimaru. After using this Kinjutsu, the user's soul is consumed by the Death God and they will die shortly after. Neither the user nor the victim will be able to pass on to the Pure Lands, the afterlife in the Naruto universe, as they will be trapped within the Death God for all eternity. Unless this is, if you know the next jutsu. We only see the reverse Reaper Death Seal used once, and that's by Orochimaru. In order to use it, you need the Death God mask from the Uzumaki clan as well as a human sacrifice in addition to yourself. This jutsu allows the user to retrieve souls from the Death God's stomach, although you will forfeit your life in doing so. Orochimaru was ultimately able to use this jutsu without using his own life, due to him being able to take over the bodies of others with another forbidden jutsu. Izanagi is a forbidden jutsu exclusive to the Uchiha clan. This allows the user to create a genjutsu so powerful that it rewrites reality itself. The jutsu allows the user to negate any injuries they receive, including death itself. The injured self will fade away as an illusion, being replaced by the non-injured self. This technique is so powerful that the Sharingan user will lose sight in the eye that activated it. To help combat the use of this forbidden jutsu, the next Kinjutsu was developed. If Izanagi is a jutsu that alters one's destiny, then its sibling jutsu Izanami is a jutsu that decides one's destiny. By setting up a series of events and then using the jutsu, the user is able to trap the subject in an endlessly looping reality. As this was created to help those who have lost their way and abused Izanagi, the only way of escaping their fate is to accept reality as it is, thus breaking the loop. The Rasen Shuriken is a jutsu that was created by Uzumaki Naruto. By adding wind release to his existing rasengan, he created this S-rank jutsu, which after colliding with the target will detonate and expand into a vortex that contains countless numbers of microscopic wind blades, which damage the target on a cellular level, effectively disconnecting the cells from the chakra circulatory system. This destructive jutsu was classified as Kinjutsu by Tsunade, the 5th Hokage, after observing the same cellular damage on the arm that Naruto uses for the jutsu. This was circumvented after learning Sage Mode as he learned how to throw the jutsu. The 8 Gates technique unlock limiters on one's own chakra flow, allowing them access to speed and physical strength well beyond what their body is capable of handling. This means at a minimum, the user will become extremely fatigued after opening a lower gate, while the downsides of opening higher gates include torn muscles, broken bones, and with the 8th gate resulting in death. As this technique is so damaging to the user's body, it's classified as a forbidden jutsu, although it is so powerful as to allow Might Guy to almost defeat the 10 Tails Jinchuriki Madara with a kick that was so powerful it warped space and time. The Cursed Seals of Heaven and Earth were an iconic pair of jutsu in the original Naruto series. They were used by Orochimaru to implant a seal in a subject which, when used, increased their chakra and physical capabilities, and when fully unlocked would not only massively alter their appearance but increase their combat abilities yet again. The The main purpose of this jutsu, however, was to implant Orochimaru's chakra into subjects, giving him multiple avenues of reincarnation by taking over their bodies with the next jutsu. Living corpse reincarnation is a rather disturbing Kinjutsu developed by Orochimaru in order to transfer his soul into another person, thus extending his life in order to achieve his dream of gathering all knowledge in existence. After implanting either the Curse of Seal or the Curse of Heaven into a subject, Orochimaru then sheds his current body, revealing his true form, which is a giant snake made up of many other snakes. He then swallows his prey, bringing them into a mental plane where he will dominate their soul, suppressing it in order to take their body. Although the Sharingan seems to be able to counter this technique as shown by Sasuke, this forbidden jutsu will need to be performed every 3 years or so, as the body will eventually start to reject Orochimaru. Earth Grudge Fear is a Kinjutsu used by Kakuzu, who stole it from the Takigakure before joining the Akatsuki. This jutsu drastically changed his body, seemingly replacing all his muscles, bones, and organs with thousands of black threads. This allows him to extend and manipulate his body as he pleases, use the threads to reattach others' body parts, as well as to be able to attack with them. He's also able to store up to 4 spare hearts in his body in the form of masks, effectively giving himself multiple lives. He can also use the threads to create bodies for these masks, which can use the elemental ninjutsu of those the hearts were stolen from. This turns any fight against him into a 5-on-1 fight. These masked beings can also combine their ninjutsu, unleashing devastating attacks. The Reverse Lotus used by Rock Lee is one of the most benign forbidden jutsu on this list. It involves the user opening at least 3 of the 8 gates, then successively striking their opponent up into the air, while gradually wrapping them with bandages. This allows the user better aerial movement while hindering the target, setting them up for one massive blow after the other. The multi-shadow clone jutsu is by far the most iconic jutsu in Naruto, thanks to, well, Naruto. Shadow clones require splitting your chakra evenly among the clones. For the regular shadow clone jutsu, this isn't a problem as most users make 2 or 3 clones at the most. Naruto, however, uses this technique to create dozens and sometimes hundreds of clones. This would normally result in death for the user, but as Naruto has immense chakra reserves compared to the average shinobi, he is able to get away with it without any negative effects. The mutually multiplying exploding tags jutsu was created as a combat technique exclusive to those who have been reincarnated by Edo Tensei. By using their body as a medium, since those who are reincarnated are made by an infinitely regenerating paper, they create special exploding tags. Right before detonating, these tags will create more explosive tags and repeat the process, leading to an infinite series of explosions, which create so much destruction that only an Edo Tensei body would be capable of surviving. Twin Snake's Mutual Death was created by Orochimaru. It involves the user forcing the victim to perform the necessary hand seals in conjunction with them, which after completion will result in the loss of both lives. One's Own Life Reincarnation is the only truly altruistic forbidden jutsu on this list. It allows the user to use all of their chakra as an intermediary to funnel their life force into the target. When used on someone who is alive but fatally injured, this will restore them to health while severely depleting the user. When used on the recently deceased, however, it will in effect trade the life of the user for the subject, returning one to life while taking the others. The Strength of 100 seal allows the user to slowly store vast amounts of chakra over many years into a seal on their body, located on the forehead of both Tsunade and Sakura. This chakra is then used in conjunction with the Creation Rebirth technique, allowing the user to use the immense chakra stores they've accumulated to heal nearly any injury inflicted upon them, allowing them to keep fighting despite any injuries they sustain. Rinne Rebirth is used by one of the 6 paths of pain, the outer path. The one time we see this jutsu is when Pain, also known as Nagato, uses the technique to summon the King of Hell, who emerges from the ground, stretching out its mouth to release all the souls of the recently deceased members of the Konoha village. As the souls return to their bodies, they rejoin the world of the living, as the user's chakra level is depleted so far that they perish. All of these forbidden jutsu come at the detriment of the user, with some being much more powerful than others, yet all representing the sacrifice, tragedy, and desperation that comes with living in the shinobi world. From bringing back the dead, becoming effectively immortal, to rewriting reality itself. If you could master one Kinjutsu without consequences, which would it be? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to come back for the next one.